So a lot of mutual aid groups run into a thing where some people showing up to be part of them really have the charity model in mind because it's so common in our society, or where they feel the group has like some tendency towards like charity or savior stuff coming up. And there's a couple different pieces of this. I mean, one thing to do is just to like actually have conversations in the group about like what is the charity model and what's the difference between charity and mutual aid. Like most people have never had that conversation. So like you could use existing resources like I have that short video, that short animated video on my YouTube page. That's the mutual aid explainer that talks about that. You could use that to stimulate people, or people could read something together, or you could just talk about it, and or you can make a chart together, like what's more like charity and what's more like mutual aid, like just introducing those concepts to each other, and so that you can keep talking about them and being like, huh, when we do it like this, is that more like charity or mutual aid? Or oh, hey, I think this thing we're doing is more like charity. Like just giving people some shared language and just taking time to do that political ed piece. And if you have a lot of people joining the project a lot of the time, and you have some kind of orientation, like making that conversation part of the orientation to the project over and over again, like, hey, this is our philosophy. We're always trying to move towards these mutual aid values, and these charity values can sometimes creep up. So I think that's key. And like just also having like one-on-one conversations with people when we see those tendencies emerging, or when someone's new in the group and they've never gotten to think about that before. And they're like, hey, maybe we shouldn't let anybody who uses drugs come in here or whatever. Another thing is noticing specifically, like, is this group starting to use eligibility criteria that cuts out stigmatized people? That happens. That's one of the main like charity like things that a mutual aid group might do, like being like no drug users here or whatever. So how do we like commit that we are going to what it means to be a mutual aid project is that we're interested in serving the people like most left out and stigmatized. And so that means we're going to never use eligibility criteria that cut those people out. And then I think there is a dynamic that I see happening a lot in mutual aid groups that really troubles people for good reason, which is that we live in such pitched, severe wealth concentration that it can be like a lot of people in the mutual aid group are not like living in like extreme poverty, and then they're serving a population of people who are like living at like really, really rough conditions. And they want those people to come in and co-govern the mutual aid project with them and become part of it. But those people have like actual obstacles in their lives that makes it like not realistic right now. Like I can't come to meetings, or I can't be there regularly or whatever. So that doesn't mean we should like stop the work, Like, yes, that sucks. That's hard. That's not what our ideal image of mutual aid is, but we are imperfect people doing imperfect work. So it just is instead like, okay, let's keep doing the work and figure out like, is there any way to like gather wisdom from people who aren't willing to come to meetings or aren't able, but still can give us feedback about how this work is going? Can we bring that wisdom in? Can we get that feedback? Like, how do we actively solicit that direction from people, even if they can't join like the meetings where we're doing a lot of the governance or decision making? Can we get their feedback on decisions? Can we run stuff by them while they're charging their phone at our charging station, or while we're handing off their kid or whatever? Like, just being open to the fact that we live under conditions that are going to produce those kinds of charity like dynamics potentially, and we want to like actively push back against that, but also not be like, oh no, there are aspects of our work that look like that, we must stop. It's like, that's not really an option. We just have to keep doing the work and figuring out like what are the creative and pragmatic ways to try to disrupt this dynamic, given the realities that are happening with who we are and who people are who are coming to get whatever our mutual aid project is giving out. And just like, yeah, being open to like any complexity around that.